In the last part, we saw how to find an inverse function just by looking at it and doing inverse operations. This one here, because the x appears twice, it's much harder to do this question. It is a much longer process. So I'm going to explain what that process is. It's always going to be the same. And by the way, this process would work for the simple ones that we did in the last video as well. But it's a long process and it's not always necessary. In this case it is, because the x appears twice. So this is the process. You're going to, first of all, replace the f of x with a y, just to make it a bit easier, because we're going to do quite a lot of algebra. So we're just going to write a y instead of the f of x. We are then going to rearrange to make x the subject. So we want to rearrange the equation so we get x equals something or other. And then right at the end, we are going to swap back. Instead of writing the y, we're going to write an x, and we will write f inverse of x, because that's what we're trying to find here. So let's do each of these steps for this function. So step number 1, I've replaced the f of x, and I've just written a y instead. Everything over here is exactly the same. So that's step 1. I'm just writing a y there instead. Step 2, I'm going to rearrange to make x the subject. So the first thing I'm going to do, multiply both sides by the 2x plus 3, which gives that. I am then going to expand the brackets to give that. I am now going to rearrange this so everything on the left-hand side has an x in it, because that's what I'm trying to make the subject, and anything without an x goes over here on the right-hand side. So basically move this over here, move this over here, like that. I am now going to factorise the x here, so it only appears once. And then I'm going to divide by the 2y minus 1, which gives that. And now I've made x the subject, I'm now going to do the final step. I'm going to swap y for x, and I'm going to write f inverse of x. So I will get that. F inverse of x is equal to 3x plus 1 over 2x minus 1. So instead of the y here and here, I've written x, and this is my inverse function. So this is the inverse of that original function from the top. Here's another example I'm going to do. So first things first, I'm going to replace the g of x with a y. I am now going to rearrange to make x a subject, so move the x minus 3 up to the other side. Expand the brackets. And now everything that has an x on the left-hand side, so move the 2x over here, move the 3y over there. So I'll get xy minus 2x is equal to 1 plus 3y. So I've just added 3y to both sides, and I've subtracted 2x from both sides. I'm now going to factorise an x outside here. So inside the brackets, I'll just have a y minus 2. And then divide by the y minus 2 to give that. That is my inverse function. Obviously, I don't want to have it written like this though, however. I want to have it written like g inverse of x. And I don't want it to be in terms of y, I want it to be in terms of x. So that's my answer. So what I'm saying is, if I substituted any number into here, if I substitute 5 in here and here, I would get my answer out. And then whatever answer that is, if I substituted that in back down here, I would then get back to 5, because these functions are inverses of each other. They cancel each other out. I'm now going to give you a question to have a go at. So press pause, have a go at this question. I want you to find the inverse operation of this. Remember the 3 steps. Replace the f of x with y, rearrange to make x the subject, and then swap back at the end. Press pause, have a go at this question. When you're ready, press play, and I'll show you the working out. Okay, here we go.